Good morning, Mark here from Excel with a red wine tasting done quite early in the morning. Actually, just down here is Maggie the Sprocker Spaniel. Why I'm doing this with her in the picture, I'm not entirely sure. It seemed a good idea a few moments ago. And now I'm on the floor, I can't really get up, as it seems she can. Now this is a wine I'm really quite in love with, and I say that not for marketing reasons, not because I particularly want to sell this to you. I am genuinely very taken with this. We actually don't have it at the moment, and we won't buy it in unless you guys get quite as enthused about it as I am. It's unsurprisingly, given that it's a little bit what we do, a major award winner. It's one of the winners of a gold award at this year's Decanter World Wine Awards. I was on the Zoom a couple of nights ago with a friend of mine from Australia. Hello, Maggie. And he was saying to me, don't you get hacked off with always selling wines that other people recommend rather than stuff that you particularly recommend? And the answer to that is no, not really, because as a result of doing that, we run into wines we would never otherwise have seen or tried. And this is a real example of that. The wine under discussion is a Cabernet Franc from Argentina. Yes, a Cabernet Franc from Argentina. And it is this one from Angelo Innocenti. It's their Cabernet Franc 2018. Cabernet Franc is an interesting topic, isn't it? Because, you know, its old world origins are in the Loire and in Bordeaux. In the Loire, it's often turned into 100% varietal wine. Chinon, Bourgogne, Saint-Nicolas de Bourgogne. And that's a real opinion splitter. There are purists who think that's the way Cabernet Franc should be. In my view, and I don't think this is a particularly controversial view, it's pretty green, it's pretty stalky, it's nearly always underripe apart from in really hot years, and admittedly they are getting hotter. And I'm not sure that's really how Cabernet Franc should be. People will argue with me on that. Now, obviously in Bordeaux, it's part of the classic Bordeaux blend. Obviously Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot are the great two there. But it is used as a... To call it a salt and pepper grape is a little bit unfair because it's used in greater quantities than that. But it is used to add aroma, a bit of acidity, a little bit of zing, fragrance, perfume to the wine. And obviously in some of the great Bordeaux's, Cabernet Franc is used really heavily. It can be up to as much as 75%, I think, I might be wrong on the number there, with Cheval Blanc over on the right bank. And they do manage to get it pretty ripe there, which is a major part of the story. Well, that's really the story with this wine. It's about its ripeness and generally about the New World is able to get Cabernet Franc riper in general than France is. And that's true in Chile, it's particularly true in Argentina, it's true in South Africa. This is Argentinian from Mendoza. And that's what really singles this wine out, is that actually, as Cab Franc goes, look at it in the glass, really dark in colour. Get one sniff of that, and there is a real darkness to this. This is more black fruit than red. There's definitely black cherry in there. You know, it's actually quite Italian, almost sort of southern Italian in that way. Sort of almost Aglianico, southern Italian smell. But yeah, I mean, obviously a really big Brunello, a really big Chianti. You could easily be confused with that sort of black cherry smell of thinking this is an Italian wine. But on top of it, you've got brambles, you've got plum, you've got damson, you've got all those darknesses. But also, what's quite unusual about this is it's got a sort of mushroomy, gamey smell to it. The sort of smell you might expect with Pinot Noir after it's been 10 years in bottle, that sort of gamey forest floor thing. There's a definite sort of mushroom hint to it, really attractive. One of the things that Cab Franc always does when it's ripening, if you have a really great nose and bouquet, that's really got it. Gets really interesting in the mouth. This is where it's really tantalising. I mean, that's just really good. It's really ripe. It's really attractive. And it sort of sits in that balance between being quite a young, fresh wine, and a couple of the younger, fresher wines we've done recently. The Matilda, the Domaine de la Bèche, Morgon that we've done have been hugely popular. They've been dark, but they had a real freshness to them. They're quite young wines. But that also is a proper wine. That's had time in barrel. It's a big, quite deep and profound wine as well. It sort of sits in that gap between the big old aging wines and the new zingier style of wine. In terms of acidity, the acidity is really quite racy in it, but not racy that singles it out as just a young zingy wine. Tannins are really soft, plush, they're very definitely there. and will lead you to believe that this is a wine that will definitely age for up to 10 years. I would say you could be drinking this in 2030 quite comfortably. But it's just really attractive. It has a real depth to it, a real mouthfeel. It's full. I mean, Cabernet Franc is not famous for the kind of fullness, viscosity, depth it has. This definitely has some of that. I think this is just hugely attractive. And it's a very, very complete wine. I don't know what's not to like. And if you are an Italian fan, a Chianti fan or whatever, I think you'll see what I mean. There is a definite Italianesqueness about it. Anyway, look, I'm off to finish the bottle somewhere. What Maggie will do is anybody's guess.